Good afternoon, everyone. And first, I want to thank the Historic Trust for inviting me to speak and for what they do every day. My name is Alma Dennis, and I self-identify as a Virgin Islander. I'm not here to define for you what a Virgin Islander is, but I'm going to tell you what it means to me to come from these lands. So, let me introduce you to my little world. I love it. I grew up in a little bubble, and my people from this land, from this soil. I grew up on the west end of the island. My great-grandparents were in Savan, and then they went up to Agnes Fancy. My grandmother, my father's side from Tatola. This is our land. I also want to introduce you to my family. Right? You want to meet my family?
Please.
My great-grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, and all my cousins them. A lot of them. Right? In Tatola. They're everywhere. This is my family. I grew up in this little bubble, and this is all I knew. I didn't travel to the States to visit anyone, except for 2 weeks when I was 8 or 9 years old. That's it. All my cousins lived here. All my family lived here. My cousins didn't travel. I never heard them come back and say, oh, I went to such and such a place and I learned all of this. Nobody. I did have uncles. An uncle that lived in Chicago. Oh, let me take him out. Because his family didn't live here. His children didn't live here. He didn't live here. They didn't bother me. But have you ever wondered that one day you wake up and your family gone, but they didn't all die? That happened to me. I was 16 years old when I went to school. I can't believe I'm getting emotional. 16 years old when I went to school. And I came back, and my cousins didn't come back. But I was still okay. I came back from college, I was okay. Because I still had my uncles, my aunts, my great-grandparents, my grandparents. Stayed here for 4 years. Don't hold it against me, I did work at WAPA. But then I went away again. And when I came back, my great-grandparents were gone. My grandmother was gone. My father was gone. My uncles gone. This is all left. My cousins who had families never came back. So this is it. This is the family that I knew. And it impacted me because every time I go into the plane, I tell people this all the time, I used to cry. I was going back to a great job, but I wasn't getting the connection that I needed because the family was no longer sitting around the table telling stories about being in Savan in a one-room house with a one-room school, with a big yard, with a communal yard, with all multiple houses, using our language. Not happening. And then you're in the middle, so you're not getting the elder stories anymore. And my cousins didn't come back. So then I don't have any stories to share with my cousins about growing up. Going crabbing with my father. In the middle of the night, it rained. Come, let's go. The hole full of water, they crab them out. You go down with a cooler bag. And you go with the flashlight. You stun the crab with a flashlight, put it in the eye, so you blind it, pick it up, you put it in the bag. And I shaking the bag, oh, the crab them climbing up. No, don't shake it so hard, you'll break the crab them. Right? And then you have those stories to tell. Sitting under a mango tree, eating mango, playing hide and seek, climbing up in the tree, hiding behind boulders, going to the market with my grandmother. With all things stew taman, stew mango, stew guava berry, because she was a farmer. All her plants, everything. She get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, load up my uncle's truck, and she there at 5 o'clock in the morning at the market. So every time I came home, I would meet new people, and I would ask them, how you get here? New people. Oh, I come here because I came on vacation, I fell in love with the place, and I spent my last dime to come here. How you get here? Oh, I'm retired now, and you know, I can't take the cold anymore, so I decided I'll go up part-time to the States and live here. How you get here? Oh, I come from another island, and my family was here, and I heard there's plenty of work, so I moved here. Left of them, right? My family disappearing. The people I know disappearing. Oh, by the way, the new people have children. They live baby children, right? So now, unless they are actively mingling with the local people, they bring their own traditions and their own culture. And now we are no longer the dominant voice because we are a minority. So what do? I search and I search, and every time I come home, I've come home for a little bit of time in between, stay for a couple of years. And my mother would say, I ain't getting comfortable with you coming home because you're gonna leave again. Because nothing was keeping me here. And I wasn't crying because I miss my mother. I talked to her 10 times a day. I still talk to her 10 times a day, right? I wasn't crying because I could miss the beach. The beach would be here when I come back. I was crying because I couldn't get enough of, I wasn't absorbing enough of my culture when I came home. And here I am. I go away, back to a foreign place that I can't make or joke them because they don't understand me. You know, I can't be myself because I in a foreign place, and then I come home and I feel like a foreigner in my own place. So I decided, and this time I'm staying home because I've created a new little book. It's called The Creative Native. And I'm only one voice in the community. There are many voices, but this is my story. When I started The Creative Native, I didn't take pictures of this because this doesn't tell you anything about us. This tells you we live in a very beautiful place, but it tells you nothing about the people. This image are my mother's hands, and she's holding sugar cane, and I tell the story. This is called The Gift of Freedom, and I tell the story that the women have shaped us, our community, our culture. And I start the story in 1878 with the three queens that burned down over 50 sugar plantations and half of the town of Frederickston. My mother and I have a running joke because whenever I tell people it's my mother's hands, like, oh. And then they ask me, is your mother still alive? So whenever she comes in, I say, don't tell me it's my mother, because you look too young, and they ain't gonna want to buy the handle anymore. But this is the #1 seller in the gallery. And every time they say, can I take a picture of the story? So every gift item that they buy, it comes with the story. This image of Bomba Alec on the island of St. Croix, blowing the conch shell, brings the story full circle of why those women in 1878 took matters in their own hands 30 years after the emancipation of slavery. Because we became contract workers, but they were barely paying them enough for the work that they did. So we talk about the threat from this guy, I'll use his name, General Bud Hope, that threatened the Danish government and said, we want our freedom now. Because for some strange reason, the Danish thought it was a great idea to say, everyone who born from this day forward, you are free. But we have a 12-year plan for everybody else who's enslaved. Well, that wasn't going to work. So General Bud Hope took matters in his own hands and blew the conch shell to amass the enslaved. And that's why we honor the conch shell as a symbol of freedom. The people take this in. A lot of Danish people buy this image. For some reason, they carry a guilt. I said, don't carry any guilt. We are better off for what we've been through. We earned that. We fought for it. As a matter of fact, I had a family this week from Denmark. And the child, she's probably a teenager, asked me, do you hate Danish people? I was like, no. Slavery happened everywhere, to multiple races. I don't hate you. It happened, it's over, we moved on. This image of these hands making dumb bread. Oh, can't get out. These are Barbara Peterson's mother's hands. They flew her in for me to do this story. Specifically. And I chose her hands because the series is called Feed Them. And it talks about the elders being the stewards of the community. So it wasn't unusual to say, I use my great-grandmother as an example. Miss Louise, I'm coming back and dropping off my children. But she'd already have 6 children of her own. But you don't turn the children away because the community takes care of the community. Her hands embodies the story because she's been feeding the community free breakfast since 1995, Christmas morning at the Emancipation Garden. And she don't have to do it. She do it because she loves the community. As a matter of fact, I sat down with her while she was making the dumb bread, and she said she don't even like to cook. But she does it. She comes every year, November, to prepare for this. She don't like to cook because she had a lot of siblings and she had to take care of all of them. But she does it for the community. This story, this is Felipe's